From getting suspended after being seen holding a gun in an Instagram video, to realizing his faults when it was a little too late, these are all the reasons why Ja Morant is a menace to the NBA. For starters, the Memphis Grizzlies player was suspended recently after he appeared to be holding a gun in an Instagram video. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot, dude. All jokes aside, that's exactly what Ja did when he was spotted holding a gun to his millions of Instagram followers. And to make matters worse, he was sitting in a car surrounded by his friends when he did that. I don't know about you, but that sounds like it could very easily turn into a case of friendly fire. Of course, after everything else the guy has done recently, the team wasn't having it. And they stated in a Twitter post that they're aware of Morant's little social media video. And for now, at least, they've decided to suspend all team activities until a proper league review is carried out. Though I've got to say, probably the craziest part out of all this isn't even the first time since March that Ja's been facing a suspension, because earlier in the year, the NBA suspended him for a whopping 8 games. And what was the reason for this suspension? Why? For brandishing a firearm, of course. Yeah, the guy really needs to tone it down with all these weapons. This time, he pulled one out during a night out at the club. The NBA at the time released a statement where they said that his actions were detrimental to the league. The suspension included the 6 games that Ja chose to step away from the team himself. This was to seek help, which from the looks of it, he still needs a lot of it. The little maneuver ended up costing Ja around $700,000 out of his $12.1 million salary. Definitely a pretty penny to lose just because of a bit of a power trip in a nightclub. Wouldn't you agree? But that's not even the only problem he's been involved in, because the guy literally threatened someone on Twitter once. Ja really does seem to have a hard time understanding that the entire world can pretty much see what he's doing online. So back in the 2021-22 season, Morant wasn't exactly involved in as many controversies as he is now. In fact, many people even considered him the NBA's top rising superstar. But that changed when he decided to explode like a supernova on a random person on Twitter. In a tweet left on his account by a troll, Ja left a reply that can only really be considered a full-on threat. Like the guy said, it's free to see how hollows feel. Loads of people thought that he was straight up, threatening to shoot the person in that tweet. Sheesh, obviously behavior like that is unacceptable. But the problem with Morant is that he's shown time and time again that the tweet wasn't just a one-off incident. Instead, it's really indicative of an inherent issue in his behavior. Like, the guy's got absolutely no chill. I mean, just look at the time when he pretty much threatened a mall security guard. It's one thing to be flinging your gun randomly at people or even throwing out threats to trolls online. But like actually going out of your way to make a security guard's life a pain just seems a bit too far. Even for Ja, right? Well, he proved everyone wrong when he butted heads with the head of security at a Memphis mall. The security guard filed a police report against the Memphis Grizzlies player because of it, saying that Ja threatened him during a fight that broke out in the parking lot. Classic school bully behavior, if you ask me, and it doesn't even end there. Sounds like Morant got pretty physical in the altercation, even going as far as to shove the security guard in the head. But why exactly did this fight begin in the first place? Well, it seems that Morant's mother got into an argument with one of the mall employees, and Ja apparently thought it was a good idea to get involved. You know, instead of doing the sensible thing and just diffusing the situation, and get this, he wasn't even alone. He had a ragtag group of as many as 9 people ready to do his bidding. Yikes. No wonder the security guard filed a police report against him, because Morant's proven that he's a straight-up menace. And if you're still not convinced, wait till you hear this next bit. Just a week after he did this, Ja was accused of beating up a teenager. You can sort of see his role as a villain getting more and more prominent. I mean, after you're punching kids, can you even come back from it? Well, Ja's shown that apparently if you've got the NBA in your back pocket, you certainly can. So here's what happened. During an off-season pickup basketball game, which was held at Morant's house, Ja went nuts and started attacking a 17-year-old kid. This was after a verbal altercation had broken out between the two. The teen told the police that he accidentally hit Morant in the face with a basketball during an argument. Morant took that as the green light to absolutely go wild on the kid, punching him to the ground and even getting one of his friends involved in the whole thing. Like, can you imagine? 2 grown men constantly punching down on a teenager simply because he threw a basketball a bit too hard. It's menacing behavior, that's for sure, but at this point, it just seems par for the course for Ja. Apparently, even in this situation, Ja pulled out a gun and was seemingly threatening the teen. And hilariously enough, even despite clearly being the one who was in the wrong here, he claimed that the 17-year-old was the one who was threatening Morant. And get this, Ja apparently felt like his life and that of his family were in danger because of the team. Like, come on. While the local district attorney didn't choose to charge Morant, the team did end up filing a lawsuit against him. It really makes you wonder why the NBA hasn't taken stricter actions. After all, the NBA isn't just a game, it's a business, and having bad apples like Ja can really spoil it for everyone else. Sure, they've given the guy a suspension here and there, and I'm sure the loss of income probably hurts him a bit. But considering the never-ending spree of downright menacing situations he's been in, you'd think that they'd maybe give him a final warning, like clean up your act or ship out. Steve Bulpett of Heavy Sports said that the league does seem to care about Morant's image and reputation. And not just that, they're apparently also worried about his well-being and health. They probably care about Morant as a person too, which is why they've been a bit lenient so far. But it's important to keep in mind that he doesn't just represent himself. He's also representing his family team and the league as a whole. And with so many of these incidents happening now, you'd think that someone would speak up against it. Though I guess one of the reasons why he's managed to stick around so long is the fact that the guy's got an immensely loyal fan base. You know, the kind of folks who come out to defend you even after you beat up a kid or shove a security guard or threaten to shoot someone online. Talk about loyalty. These fans really end up encouraging him on social media. Though I feel at a certain point, you've got to ask yourself if it's worth supporting someone that's causing this much harm to himself and those around him. That said, Morant did mention recently how he knows his actions are problematic. While addressing everything that's happened lately, Morant said that he realizes what he's got to lose. He mentioned that his pattern of off-court decisions is beginning to affect his time on the court. Ja said that he feels like we put ourselves in that situation because of our past mistakes, and that it's much better to instead focus and lock in the future while trying to be smarter and more responsible. He also stated that people should hold each other accountable for everything. Morant also mentioned that in the past, he didn't exactly know what was at stake. But now that he spent some time alone, he's starting to realize it and is hoping to improve. I'm guessing the $700K he lost because of the suspensions probably played a role in helping him come to that decision. But thankfully, Morant seems to be thinking about someone other than himself now. He added that he knows it's not just about him and that his team has a lot to lose too, so they're all trying to stay away from bad decisions. Though I've got to say, I haven't seen any of the other Memphis Grizzlies players punching kids. It's good to see him move towards positive change, because some fans thought that the only way out for him was to just retire. He was hurting his own legacy otherwise. Because you can't exactly play basketball from prison, can you? But from acknowledging how problematic his actions have been lately, to getting suspended recently after he was seen holding a gun in an Instagram video, those were all the reasons why Ja Morant is a menace to the NBA.